Fantastic. Hello there, Master Hellish here, and welcome to a brand new series of CodinGame. This is a free game out there, playable in your web browser on the internet. Now, I thought, I've known about this game for a little while now, and I thought, shall I do a series, shall I not? I mean, will you guys like it? And then recently we did the modded Minecraft, where me and Biffin did quite a lot of coding on the computer craft in the lure, and there seemed to be quite a positive underlying reaction from that. So I thought, okay, let's give it a go. So I don't know if this is going to be a full-blown series or just a mini-series to take a look at the game for a few episodes, but I'll do a couple of episodes and you guys can give me some feedback and see what you think. Now, I mentioned coding. That's exactly what this game is about. The name of it gives it away a little bit. CodinGame, and I've got the link on the screen that you can go to, and you can find it in the description of the video. And it is basically a game which you do bits of coding in order to run scenarios and have lots of fun. And well, there's many different reasons you can do this. Now, it's not just an outright game as well. There's a bit of a community behind it. Here on the right hand side you can see a number of different pictures. These are profile pictures of various different people also playing the game, and you can talk to them in different chat rooms, and you can help each other with the game. And also there's an underlying thing behind it where you can actually almost promote yourself as a coder or a developer and kind of say, hey, I've got these cool scores, and I can do this and I can do that, and they do, you know, almost like a job platform. But I haven't really gone deep into that side of it. But just to be aware, there is that all kind of second half to this whole thing where there's a community and kind of platform for coders as well. But we're going to be concentrating on the gaming side, and this is what you're seeing now. This is the game full screen on my computer. Now, for some reason their website doesn't full screen perfectly, but never mind, we'll ignore that. But here it is, and we're going to have a look at the various different components, play the first level, and then we'll go on to the next level next episode. So at the moment nothing's really happening here. I'm just talking. There's a flat screen, but we'll go around the different components of the screen and we'll talk about it as we go. Now, if you come into this game, this is probably the first level that you'll come to. It's in the easy section, and it's called Onboarding, and I think that's really the whole idea of it. It's to onboard you into the game. It's a brand new thing. So yeah, it's going to be really cool. This, I've already had a little play with it, but I haven't gone very far. Now, you do already have to know a little bit of coding. You will not get anywhere, or you might not get anywhere with just coming into this not knowing any coding background. If you want to learn coding, there are other great ones out there. You can message me on my Facebook if you really want to know any more, or I might put a link in the description if I can remember the program that I used, or that I recommend anyway. But this is what you do need a bit of background knowledge already to play this game, although it does help you. In this level, the first level, it actually gives you the code. It says, here's the code, stick it in here, press submit, press play, and you don't actually have to do anything. It's more of a tutorial about how to play the game. So let's have a look at what we can see here. I've already mentioned the faces on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, we have your profile, back, and hints and forums, and you can go to forums and change the settings. And also, there's a whole friends section there that we can have a look at maybe in the future. If you want to add me on this game, I'm not sure how involved I'm going to be with this game, so send the request if you like. But I don't know if I'm going to be building myself up on this game yet. Next up we have, let's do this bit. This onboarding image that you see here is actually the gameplay area. This is where your scenario will play out, and in each level there is a scenario which has a certain amount of code missing to it. Below that you have your goal, which we'll have a look at in a moment, and over here on the right is your code that you have to write. So it gives you some to start off with, more than likely, and then it gives you some space to fill in the code. And down the bottom here you can actually play your test case. Now, don't worry if you don't know VB.NET. This is the code that you're seeing here in front of you. You can actually change the language, and there is a whole host of languages to choose from C#, Java, C++, JavaScript, Python, Bash, C, F, There's actually Lua in there, so if you wanted to smarten up your computer craft from Minecraft, you could do that. Pascal, Perl, PHP. Just a quick rundown of ones I've used before. I'm aware of C++, but not used it. I've done Java. I've done some JavaScript. I've done some Lua. I've done PHP. And I've done VB.net, and because at the moment VB.net is the thing that I'm using the most at work, or at least starting to use it the most at work, up until my new job, which I started back in January, I hadn't really touched VB.net or VB very much, but I have programming background, so it's moderately easy to get hands on. That's what I'm going to be doing. So, right, here we have a game. Let's have a look at what we have to do in this level. So the goal, your program, which is what we got here, must destroy the enemy ships by shooting the closest enemy on each turn. So I'm guessing if we don't shoot the closest enemy, it will go horribly wrong. Here are the rules. On the start of each turn, that's within a game loop, you obtain the information on the two closest enemy. So we get enemy 1 as a variable and distance 1, which is the distance that the enemy is away from you, the name and the distance of the enemy, yes. And we also get enemy 2. So we get the two closest enemies and the distance they are away from us. And before the turn is over, before the end of the loop, we have to output the name of either enemy 1 or enemy 2 to shoot that closest enemy. Now, let's deliberately do this wrong. Okay? Let's deliberately do this wrong. So, let's just have a look at what this mod... and then we'll do it right. So, just to kind of explore and play. So, here we go. We've got a loop here, a game loop. It says, while true, we declare enemy 1 as a string, and then we make enemy 1 equal to the console line. What the console reads in. So the console's reading in enemy 1, and we do the same with the distance. Now, so this program that we're writing here must be sent three things. It must be sent enemy 1, distance 1, enemy 2, distance 2. So our module that we're writing here, our sub, as it's called in VB, our function, is being sent 4 pieces of information by the console.readline. Okay, so we're reading those 3 pieces of information into our program, 4 pieces of information into our program, and saving them as these 4 variables, enemy 1, dist 1, enemy 2, dist 2. Now the enemy 1s are strings, enemies are strings, and the distance are integers. And what the console wants back, so we have to do, and there's actually a comment here to tell us, console.writeLine, it wants us to do that writeLine and send back the name of the enemy. Well, let's just, what it does, I can actually show you. This is the code that the tutorial gives you. Okay, so it gives us an if statement. If distance 1 is greater than distance 2, then do this, else do that. So if it is, then enemy 1, then if not, enemy 2. And I can't remember if I flipped that symbol round or not. So that's a deliberate attempt to confuse myself. But we're not going to use that straight away. Oh, no. Let's just... if undo function works quite nicely in this console, I like that. Let's just copy that out. So what we're going to do is we're going to deliberately tell it the wrong thing. No matter what the distance is, we're going to tell it to shoot enemy 2. So we need to put in the code. So we're going to do console dot. So console is the kind of it is the object. It's where all these information's coming from. And very often, if you have a console, you can actually write to the console, and that's where you see sometimes in some programming languages the little black screen with the white or green writing going up and down it, or matrix style almost. We're going to write line, and you can see here that in this particular coding section, it's giving us some of the code for us as we go, and you get this in a lot of programming modules. So I press tab, and the rest of it puts itself in there. Now this is a function, and the functions have the curvy brackets on the end, and what you do is if a function is expecting a value to be passed to it, you put that value in the curvy brackets, that value, that variable that we're playing with. And we said we're going to pass it enemy 2, so let's do that. Enemy 2. Now that's 3. There is enemy 2. So there we go. We have written our program to handle the shooting of enemy 1 or enemy 2, and in this case we're just going to be shooting enemy 2. Let's play the test case and see what happens. So we come down here to the test cases and play it. So it pulls in the code, and here you go. Our little drone there is shooting enemy 2 every time, and oh dear, we lose. Let's just look at that quickly one more time. So you can see here our drone is shooting one of the 2 random targets, but it's not necessarily shooting the nearest target. So we get a score of 100, but we got killed. So that's not good enough. We need to actually find out which one of these is the closest, and that's what we're going to do in our if statement. So let's do an if statement. Okay, let's say if distance 1, so the distance of enemy 1, if the distance of enemy 1 is greater than the distance of enemy 2, then we need to do something. So if enemy 1 is further away, we need to shoot enemy 2 because it's closer. So let's do that. So console, is it going to let me? No, it's not. Oh. Console, this is one of the things that gets me when I'm programming. It's the spelling. Now this one does appear to be case sensitive, so we're doing right. Oh, why is it not? It's not self-completing for me. Did I spell console wrong? Hang on a second, double checking. No, it looks okay. Oh well, never mind, we'll carry on. Console.WriteLine. So if enemy 1 is greater than enemy 2, then we need to shoot enemy 2. So that's what we're going to put in here. Enemy 2. And then we need to end that if. If statements need an end on them. Let's run that and see what happens. Oh dear, what happened? What happened? Oh, right, expected if. We've got a problem with the code. What's the problem with the code? What did I do? What did I do? Let's have a look. Oh, end if. Sorry, end if in VB. In some programming languages, you just put the end in. It looks like in VB.NET you have to put the end if. Right, so the if statement is ended. You can see that here, while we've got a while loop, which we'll probably look at loops a little later. But at the end of the while loop, it's end while. So you have to you actually have to put what you're ending. So let's try again. This time we shouldn't get any errors, I would hope. There we go. And we lose straight away. Why did we lose straight away? Did we just get hit by the first one? Let's run it again. No. Your program did not provide an input in due time. Ah, right. So you can see down here in the bottom we have the console output, and it's saying you can actually see the information for the outputs of the streams. You can see in the frame. Oh, look! If you scroll up and down, the different frames of the scenario is playing out frame by frame, which is really cool for you to analyze what's going on. So here. When it said you lose, okay, it says your program did not provide an input in due time. Well, that's because we got to the end of the loop without doing an input, because we said if 1 is greater than 2, then we were telling enemy 2. But in this case, enemy 2 was greater than enemy 1, and we didn't actually tell it to do anything. We need an else in there. So let's put one in. Else. Okay, and we're just going to cheat a little by copying this. It's going to be quicker to write. Oh no, here. What the flip? There we go. So we're just going to change that 2 to 1. So we're going to say if enemy 1 is further away than enemy 2, then we're going to shoot enemy 2 because it's closer. Else we're going to shoot enemy 1 because that must be closer. And this is the code that we need to complete the game. So let's do it. Here we go. We're going to run our game. So now our drone is automatically choosing the closest of the 2, and we are shooting everything. We win! Fantastic. And there we go. Down here in the console, it says, success, you eliminated the threat, no ships remaining. And we can actually wind back through that scenario and see all the different shooting that it did. You can see that when it has one target, it got that one target. When there were two on the screen, it chose the closest one of the two. If we just forward a little bit more, you can see there's 3 on the screen, and it's still choosing that closest one every time, because that is what our code wrote. Well, there we go. That's going to be all for now. Do please let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. Whether you think this is going to be an interesting series, whether you like the way that I did it, whether you want me to do anything slightly different, whether you want me to kind of go quicker and explain less, or whether you want me to go slower and explain more. Let me know all those things down in the comments. I want to see a comment from every single person who watched the whole video, and that will be absolutely fantastic. Well, I'm going to leave you with that. Of course, any thoughts and ideas and questions, as always, down in the comments, and if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And I will see you soon. So this is me been playing CodinGame. All the information about how to get on the game itself and all the links to get to it. It is free. It is out there on the internet. You can play it in your web browser. Get on your computer. Give it a go if you're interested. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.